Tracy didn't really like what Elaine wrote about her in the paper. She has a few behavior problems and needs firm, loving handling. Ah, I can kinda see why Tracy didn't like that. Oh, my heart. My heart hurts, you guys. Something happened. It must be pretty bad if it makes Tracy write, I don't want to write what happened. Hey Starlet, today we're going to be reacting to the story of Tracy Beaker by Jacqueline. But first, if you're new around here, listen up, because I've got a little secret for you. I'm not just any YouTuber. I am Charlotte the Starlet, and I'm a writer. So I don't just react, I review. And the way I do it is simple. If I like something, I add a point, starting from last video's total. And if I don't, I take one off. Now, as y'all can see, I've got a couple friends here with me. These are the girls, Angel and Glitter. And this is my little boy Seth. Right, let's jump in. In this dream, she was stuck in the dark somewhere and there was something chasing her. So she had to run like mad. She doesn't know what she's running from, but she does know that it's something real scary. Oh, but then she got to this big round pool that had stepping stones with people stood on them. The people on the stepping stones aren't just strangers. They're people who've rejected Tracy. Tracy had to dash to her airing cupboard and laundry basket, which probably means that Tracy had a little accident during that dream. I think she wet the bed. Ooh, okay, so we are only a few minutes into this video and this book has already got me feeling nostalgic AF, because we just passed the bit where Tracy tried to apologize to Justine, her worst enemy in her care home, about breaking her alarm clock from her dad, which was really special to her. Justine completely rejected her though and made fun of Tracy for wetting the bed during the night, and she also made a vague-ish threat that she's gonna do something to Tracy that will make her even sorrier for breaking her alarm clock. The nostalgic bit for me is that since then, Tracy's just been writing and writing and writing some more to try and take her mind off of Justine. That's what takes me back, because I used to do that exact thing so much when I was younger. I'd say especially between the ages of around, I don't know, 7 to 11. I just loved imagining things and making stuff up and writing stories. And I always dreamed of writing a whole entire novel one day. Don't get me wrong, I still do. I still love to write, and I still want to write a book one day. Hopefully one day soon. It's just that these days I've become really insecure about what I'm capable of in terms of writing. The occasions where I can look at the stuff I've written with pride are so rare these days. Also because of the fact that I have had so many complications of my sickle cell, and I have spent so much time in hospital going through agony. And what made it worse was the way the doctors and nurses at my hospital treated me. I swear to God, if I told you some of the things they did to me, y'all would be beyond shook. I got treated like dirt. Anyway, oh, okay. When the head care worker, Jenny, notices how much Tracy's been writing, she suggests to her, why not become a writer? But apparently Tracy has always envisioned herself as a TV host. You know, someone with her own show. She says it's gonna be called the Tracy Beaker Experience. I actually kind of love that. Oh my god, now she's talking about how she'd walk out in this glamorous sparkly dress and how really famous celebrities would fight tooth and nail to get on her show. But Tracy reckons she could be a writer too. Ooh. Do you know what Jenny tells her? She says they've got a real writer coming round to visit the house and the kids soon. Oh my gosh, I would love that if I was Tracy. Oh, okay. It's just like a normal journalist for a newspaper. Apparently she's doing an article on kids in care. Tracy, being her old dramatic self, at first she acts like she doesn't care and she's just like, oh, that's boring. But in her little diary, she writes that she's actually fizzing with excitement inside. She says that even though a book about her would be better, she wouldn't mind having a little article in a newspaper about her. Oh, but she knows that she has to be careful what is said about her. Oh my gosh. Oh snap. Seems that Tracy didn't really like what Elaine wrote about her in the paper. She thinks that if she was allowed to write her article, it would have been way better. Oh my gosh. Do you know what she does next? In her little book, she draws an example of her ideal article. Let me see if I can show you guys. You see that? That was a picture Tracy drew of herself and a little description about herself too. It says, have you a place in your heart for dear little Tracy? Brilliant and beautiful, this little girl needs a loving home. Very rich parents preferred, as little Tracy needs lots of toys, presents and pets to make up for her tragic past. Oh my god. Very rich parents preferred. Oh, okay, so then Tracy writes what Elaine actually put, which I was hoping we would get to see. Aw, Elaine didn't let her get all dressed up for the picture. She said, we want you natural looking, Tracy. Oh, yikes. Turns out the picture ended up looking too natural. Like, can you see that? Could you see the difference between Tracy's article and the actual article? In Tracy's one, she was wearing this cute little dress and she had ribbons in her hair and everything. But in the actual article, Tracy was scowling and her hair was a wreck. Oh, let's see what Elaine wrote about her. Tracy is a lively, healthy, chatty 10-year-old who's been in care for a number of years. Consequently, she has a few behavior problems and needs firm, loving handling in a long-term foster home. Ah, okay. I can kinda see why Tracy didn't like that. Oh my gosh, when Tracy first saw that, she threw a fit. She was like, how dare you, Elaine? Is that really the best you can say about me? That I'm healthy? She's like, but what about my hay fever? Elaine tries to defend herself by saying, I also said you were chatty and lively. But Tracy has no qualms about calling her out on her BS because at this point she's been in care so much that she knows full well that those kind of words are just codes for cheeky, bossy, and difficult. Oh my gosh. Elaine is like, you said it. The heck? Don't tell me you think she just got that out of thin air. She learned those words because of people like you, Elaine. Oh my god, it reminds me of my doctors. They label their patients in the exact same way. I fully stand with Tracy on this. Tracy's calling her out on all the BS. She's like, how can you ask for someone to handle me firmly? And once again, Elaine is like, I also said lovingly. But Tracy's like, oh yeah, they'll probably tell me how much they love me as they beat me with a cane. Like, whoa. And the thing is, she's not even wrong. There are parents and foster parents out there who do that, and it makes no damn sense. Like, how to mess up your kids for dummies. Like, the type of people who do that to their kids would beat them as discipline whilst telling them they love them apparently, and then wonder why their kids don't talk to them, or wonder why their kids lash out. or they rebel. It is ridiculous. Yup, once again, she's right. Tracy told Elaine that her advert's just gonna attract creepy child beaters. Oh, yikes. Oh, my heart. My heart hurts, you guys. Do you know who her advert actually ended up attracting? Not a single person. That would absolutely ruin me. Oh my days, I feel so bad for Tracy. Right, so that disaster of an advert is the reason why Tracy is so determined to get this guest writer to write a really good piece about her. But she knows that she's gonna have to present herself in a really special way in order to get featured. Oh no, something happened. I don't know what yet, but it must be pretty bad if it makes Tracy write, I don't want to write what happened. Aw, she doesn't even want to be a writer anymore. I can practically feel Tracy's disappointment from this paragraph alone. That is one thing Jacqueline Wilson has always been good at doing. Making you feel for characters, especially protagonists. So, what happened then? Tracy says that she tried her best to make herself look presentable for the writer. Tracy's hair is naturally really thick, curly, and tough. Which honestly sounds like my hair. Like, I have straight afro hair, guys. It's kind of relaxed at the moment, but I seriously need to get it relaxed again. If only England wasn't in a national lockdown. Ain't no hairdressers open, especially afro ones. Anyway, Tracy tried to plait her hair because another little black girl in the care home called Camilla had plait, and everyone always talked about how cute she looked with them. Oh my god. After Tracy plaited her hair, she says that she tried to make the sides of her hair go a bit curly with spit. She finna ruin her hair. Obviously that didn't really work. She thought she still looked a bit boring, so she snuck into Adele's room, who's another kid at the care home, except that she's 16 and has a job at BHS. That is such an ancient shop. Like, are they even still open? I ain't heard of BHS in actual decades. So yeah, since Adele has a job there, she has tons of makeup lying all over her room. So Tracy snuck in and helped herself. So she put on some blusher, some pink glossy lipstick, mascara on her lashes and her eyebrows, and then she put a lot of powder on, like icing on top of a cake. Oh no. So after Tracy's makeover, she decides that she needs a better outfit too. She don't want this writer to see her in her scruffy old t-shirt and skirt. She wanted to wear a posh dress, but she didn't have one. So she just helped herself again to Adele's clothes. Oh my gosh, yes, there are pictures. Can you guys see that? It's Tracy with the plaits and the makeup on. Oh, but Tracy ultimately decides that Adele's clothes don't really suit her. So then her mind shifts to the other girls in the care home. Oh, snap. Okay, so just as I thought she would, Tracy's mind settles on her former best friend, Louise. Apparently, she has this really pretty pink dress with a big flouncy skirt and a cute little petticoat and everything, which Louise only wore for special occasions. And since they're about the same size, Tracy plans to sneak into her room and put the dress on despite knowing that Louise would go mental if she saw her in it. But Tracy thought it was all going to be okay as long as she made a good impression on the writer first. Sneaky, I like it. If it had worked. When Tracy sneaks over to Louise's room, she's in it. The door is shut, and not only is she in it, she's in it with Justine. And Tracy just so happens to come right at the moment they are talking about her. This gonna get juicy, y'all. Oh, they're not just talking about her, they're laughing about her. Normally, Tracy would bust right in and confront them, but she knows that if she does that, Jenny will just send her straight back to her room and she'll miss out on meeting the writer. So she doesn't. She decides against it, which is surprisingly mature for Tracy. After that, Tracy decides to go back to her room. She could overhear everything else that was going on in the care home. She could hear Justine and Louise gossiping about her. She heard all the younger kids clattering and running around downstairs. She also heard Adele rampaging around because someone had gotten into her makeup. So Tracy's low-key hiding from them all. I do still kind of feel a bit bad for her because it does kind of seem like pretty much the whole house is against her. Since she's in her room, Tracy just ends up deciding to wear this sweater that her former foster parents, Julie and Ted, had made for her. Even though it wasn't the prettiest and it had pen stains all over it. On the plus side, it had her name in bright blue on it. Aw, so eventually Tracy starts thinking about her mum again, because apparently her mum is super pretty and Tracy really wishes she looked like her, which does kind of confirm that she has self-esteem issues. I mean, that's not much of a surprise, honestly. Part of the reason Tracy decides to just go with the sweater with her name on it is because of this one thing her mum said one day, which is sometimes you have to suffer if you want to be pretty, which is so damn true. Do any of you guys know the song Pretty Hurts by Beyonce? Honestly, it is so raw and real, and it really struck a chord with me because I look up to Beyonce so much. Like, I want to look like Beyonce. Who doesn't want to look like Beyonce? And I've seen the way she is like backstage and stuff, and she puts herself through hell just to make a top tier performance and to please her fans, the Beehive. Like, she's such an inspiration to me in so many ways. And bruh, don't get me started on the video for Pretty Hurts. It was sad, man. Anyway, oh, finally the doorbell rings. That must be the writer. Yeah, we still haven't found out why Tracy didn't want to write about this. So Tracy hears the doorbell from up in her room, and she knows it's time to make her big entrance. So Tracy goes running downstairs and barges into the sitting room with a big old smile on her face. Because her mum also told her that it's no use looking sad or sulky if you want people to like you. And when she did, everyone looked at her and smiled back at her too. And for a brief moment, Tracy really believed that they were happy to see her. But then she realizes that they're not. They have the wrong kind of smiles. Smirks. Justine and Louise were nudging each other and laughing. Adele glared at her. The only person actually happy to see her was the annoying little wimpy kid, Peter. Apparently Jenny's usually really laid back about like how the kids look, but even she seemed shocked at how Tracy looked. So Tracy ends up feeling that all her effort was for nothing, because as far as she could see, there was no writer there in the room. She expected to see this really glamorous, famous writer wearing a glittery dress, high heels, lots of jewelry, like the ones that she'd seen on TV. But the woman with Jenny looked just like any old boring teacher. She had scruffy brown hair, no makeup, and a scrubby t-shirt and jeans. Aww. Tracy wants to go back to her room. Oh snap. When Tracy tries to go back to her room, Jenny grabs her arm and is like, hold on. I thought you wanted to meet the writer, Cam Lawson. Wow, Tracy really said who? And then Jenny's just like, you know, the writer. Then she lowers her voice and is like, why are you wearing that jumper? And what have you done to your face? Oh my days. Justine butts in and says she thinks she looks pretty. And then she and Louise just burst out laughing. Anyway, Jenny tries to introduce Tracy to Cam, the writer. And normally, Tracy is the last person to feel shy about meeting or talking to people. But for some reason this time, the closer she got to Cam, the more nervous she became. And eventually, she wrenched herself out of Jenny's grip and ran out of the room. Right, that is where I'm gonna leave it, guys. I still feel so bad for Tracy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give that like button and that notification bell a little kiss. And subscribe to become a Starlet. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram and Tumblr. And if you want to see how I react to a book you either love or hate, then let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys later. Bye!